Hello everyone, and good evening, konbanwa mina. Yeah, no thank you. I'm good. Alright, I'm trying to find my mouse here. Give me a second. There we are. Okay. Couldn't find my mouse because it died, so that's why I was late. So, yeah. Okay, so that happened. Luckily, I have 2 of those. Contact Steve. He is trusted and secured in all type of social media hacking and recovering of lost bitcoins of hacked accounts, activation of iCloud, phone unlock, cars, bike, and other related hacking issues. I'm good. Thank you. Good luck, dark hacker. Wish you the best. But, we're good. Alright, so for those that do not know me, hello and welcome. My name is Rosita. I am a vocal and language coach, meaning not only do I teach people how to speak in different languages, I also teach people how to sing in them. Yes. Alright, my friends, today is the day that we are going to start learning about Japanese verbs. Yeah. Yes. All right. So, before we get started on Japanese verbs, I do want to, introduce you to the Chapter 3 vocabulary. We did start that last week, but let's go ahead and take a focus on the Chapter 3 verbs. But one thing that I want to start this off with is that let's quickly talk about the Japanese tenses. Who wants to hack your computer? No one is allowed to hack my computer. Someone messaged me from Facebook watching this and something about bitcoins being hacked or hacked account. I'm just no hacking, please. I'm currently anti-hacking. Okay. So in the Japanese language, it's unique in its tense systems. Okay? We essentially have a past and a non-past. We don't have a future. Get it? Because, there's a future tense and we don't have a future. Yeah? Brutes. Okay, but with all seriousness, we don't have a future tense. Then how do we discuss or how do we express about future plans? Well, that's where frequency words come in. Time words, like words like tomorrow or next week. And then we are going to be using the present tense, or the non-past rather, conjugations of the verb. So, biggest takeaway is that the tenses that we have are non-past and past. The second thing, número 2. In Japanese, we have 3 ways of speaking. We have the informal way of speech, the polite way of speech, and we have the very formal part of speech, which I cannot wait to talk about Keigo Japanese because, boy, do I have news for you on that one. But since we are using the Genki 1 book, my goal is to help you speak politely. So that means you can talk to everyone. Forms. But more on that in just a moment. So let's go ahead. Let's do a little screen share here. Am I frozen? No, I'm just letting it go. Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. No? No frozen? No? No? Okay. All right. Here we go. So in Japanese, and I'm going to be writing the lesson notes here. So for those that are watching this later on, please be sure to check out the live chat. Okay? Awesome. So there are 3 classes of verbs. We have class 1. Now, depending on whom you are learning Japanese from, class 1 verbs are also known as you verbs. Meaning, well, to be fair, all verbs are going to end with a U, but they're going to end with the following kind of U. So please be sure, my friends, to have a notebook and a piece of paper. Okay? Okay. So, you verbs will end with, so I'm going to put this class 1 verbs in parentheses, you verbs will be verbs ending in u, ku, su, tsu, mu, nu, bu, gu, and ru. Actually, why do you hate the class 2 verbs? The class 2 verbs are the easiest. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Okay. Then the other kinds of verbs that we have will be class 2 verbs. Class 2 verbs, also known as ru verbs. And yes, guys, that is my actual voice when I want to sound like a robot. So, ru verbs are going to either end in ERU or IRU. No, an alien? No. But I can see why you would think that. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a way in how we are able to identify verbs if they're class 2. So since we are using the Genki book, it's already going to be categorized for you. And if you have a Japanese dictionary, it's also going to let you know if the verb is a class 2 verb, because why? There's no way, there's no rule for us to be able to identify if a verb is a class 2 verb. All right. And then lastly, we have class 3 verbs. Now, class 3 verbs, we will know them as irregular verbs. Now, you guys want to hear some great news? Yeah? Let me know. Who wants to hear some great news? And then there's silence. No one wants to hear great news? Really? All right, if you want to hear great news, let me know in the comments if you guys are watching this. Eyeing my live audience. Yay! Awesome sauce. Okay. Is that in Japanese, there are only 2 irregular verbs that exist? Yes! Yes, I'm going to put yay at me. Those verbs will be suru and kuru. And we will go over the definitions in just a moment. Now, please note that about, well, close to half of the Japanese verbs that we will learn are going to end in suru. And I'll be explaining why on the future date. Why did you write me? Because we don't pronounce it as me. I know what you were trying to do though, but the Japanese teacher crushed it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the verbs. So let's look at class 1 verbs. Verbs. Here we have iku, which means to go. Hey, we learned this word in listening comprehension class. Then we have kaeru. 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 Kaeru wa Kaeru wa means like to go back, to return. Then we have kiku. Kiku. Kiku means to listen, to hear. Then we have nomu. Nomu means to drink. Then we have hanasu. 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 Hanasu wa means like to speak or to talk. Like, eigo o hanashimasu. Then we have yomu. Yomu. Yomu wa to read. Mime. No. Okay. So these are class 1 verbs that we are going to use in this particular chapter. Okay? Then we have our class 2 verbs, verbs. We have to get up or to wake up. Please repeat after me. Okiru. 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 Then we have taberu. Please repeat after me. Taberu. Taberu. To sleep or to go to sleep. Neru. Neru. Now, be careful with the RU sounds, especialmente con mis español hablantes. No es neru. Okay? We do not trill our R's in Japanese. No es ru. No es neru. Oh my gosh, that feels weird. Sorry. Come on. Neru. Neru. Like the R is neru. Neru. It's like you're sliding your tongue against a hard palate. It's a combination of an L and an R. So like you start off with the L sound. Neru. Neru. Yeah, no es neru. Wow. All right. Next, we have miru. Miru. This means to see, to look at, to watch. Then, let's take a look at some irregular verbs. So, the verb kuru means to come. So, like the destination plus ni or e, then the verb kuru. Then we have the verb suru. Please repeat after me. Suru. Suru. Suru wa to do. So remember how I said a lot of the verbs in Japanese are going to end in suru? Here's one of them. 勉強する。勉強する。勉強 meaning like study, and suru means to do. So literally translates to do study. It makes more sense in Japanese than in English. All right. 皆さん大丈夫？いいですか？ All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my whiteboard. So みんな待ってください。Zoom and no, whiteboard. There we go. Hold on, let me see if this works. Yes, okay, good. So let's take a look in how we conjugate these verbs. All right? Before we get into actually specific rules, let's look at the verb endings. So first thing is first. We have the present positive. Then we have the past positive. Then we have the negative present. And lastly, we have the negative past. わかりません。何? Which, let me know, what part do you not understand? What is something that I can go over for you? So, like I mentioned as you're writing, Japanese, we do not have a future tense. We have either a past or a non-past. Now, since we are learning how to speak politely, we are going to be using the mas forms. The class 3 verbs, okay. Class 3 verbs are known as irregular verbs. And there are only 2 irregular verbs in Japanese, which is kuru and suru. A lot of the Japanese verbs will end in suru. Okay. So before we go into the different classes of conjugation here, let's take a look at the mas forms. So whenever we're speaking the present positive, we have mas. The past positive, we will have mashita. The negative present, will be ません. And the negative past will be ませんでした. So if I wanted to say I speak English, don't worry about the conjugations for now. Just look at the mas forms. We're going to go into detail in just a few moments. So if I want to say I speak English, I would say 英語を話します, which translates to I speak English. If I wanted to say I spoke English, 英語を話しました. I spoke English. Okay. Now, if I wanted to say I do not speak English. Oh, bye. 英語を話しません. I don't speak English. And if I wanted to say I didn't speak English, 英語を話しませんでした. I know. I didn't speak English. So, to put it in basic terms, sorry, I'm just trying to fix this here. Think of the present positive as like I do or I am, I speak. So think of this as the simple present. And the past positive, just think of it as the past positive. It's affirmative. So here you use the past tense of the verb. So think of this as the simple past. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly like it, but just to approach it. So the negative present, of course, is a negation. So this will be the subject plus do not or does not. And the negative past would be the subject plus did not plus the verb. Oh! Hi. ごめんなさい. Let me just move some things. I'm just going to put this over here. That's off center. There we go. Better? Oh, wait. There we go. So these are the mas forms. And for those that are part of our Discord community, I will, I saved this whiteboard and I'll post the notes there. Okay? Hi, Moichiro. Of course. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the actual conjugation rules. So let's go ahead and talk about class 1 verbs. Now, here, so with class 1 verbs, also known as the U verbs, let's take a look at the verb iku, which means to go. So with class 1 verbs, we are going to change the U to an I, then add the mas forms. So let's look at iku, which means to go. So what's going to happen here? No, you don't. So we have iku. Now I'm going to replace, really, a period after the arrow. I'm going to replace the U with E. And then I'm going to add the mas form. And we end up having ikimasu. So to put it into context, to say I go, it would be ikimasu. To say I went, I would say ikimashita. To say I do not go, then I would say ikimasen. To say I didn't go, it would be ikimasen deshita. So here we can see the mas forms. Let's do another example, shall we? So let's do the verb nomu. which means to drink. So here, I'm going to switch the u, which is you in Japanese, the u to an I. Now I am going to add a variation of the must form. So let's just keep the present positive here. So that means, oops, nomimasu. There we go. So to say I drink in Japanese, I would say nomimasu. To say I drank, nomimashita. To say I do not drink, would be nomimasen. To say I did not drink, would be nomimasen deshita. So again, to give you guys a visualization, here are our 4 must forms. Minasan daijoubu? Any questions, guys? On class 1 verbs? As you guys are typing, let me just grab the wokoboku. Now, for those that are part of the Discord community, you'll get a copy of the lesson notes and the worksheet that we are going to use. If you guys want to join our community for a one-time $5 donation, you guys will have access to our amazing community, and also you guys will be able to support this channel, so I'll be able to continue to give you guys free content, because who doesn't like free, right? So in the workbook, which will be page 32, again, I will, for my Discord family, I will upload it. I would like for you to do only the u verbs. So how it's going to be set out, it's going to give you the English verb. Then what you are going to do is you're going to write the dictionary form of the verb. So the Japanese translation of the verb. Then it's going to ask you to put the present affirmative or present positive, and then the past, and the present negative. And there are 6 verbs. The verbs will either end, the verbs will end in this order. Su, ku, ku, mu, mu, ru. And I would like for you to follow these class 1 verbs. Now for next Tuesday, we are going to go over class 2 and the irregular verbs. All right, guys. That will conclude class 4 today. If you guys have questions and if you guys are watching this later on, please write down your questions in the comments below. Or again, if you guys are part of our Discord community, you guys can ask me questions directly through there. Now, before we leave today, I do want to mention something. I'm having promotion. Yeah. So I do offer VIP group classes via Zoom, which includes Japanese reading and writing. I also have Japanese conversation practice, intermediate Japanese, advanced Japanese. Nani mo? Yeah, everyday kanji. Kana basics, and more. And these are only available in my VIP classes. So if you guys are interested in joining that, for the very first month, if you sign up at my website, it's $5 for the whole month. And you guys will have unlimited access to all the classes that I teach, not just Japanese, but Spanish, ESL, English, and singing classes as well. So your first month is $5. And then the month after that will be $15 a month. So make sure you put the coupon code 10 off. I'll write that down. 10 off. So 10, the letter O, F, F. Okay, so you guys get your first month for $5. All right, guys, that for sure. That will conclude class 4 today, and until next time, I shall see you tomorrow.